What's good, everyone? Jets takeoff. The Jets released Laken Tomlinson. So now the Jets, they already had a bad offensive line, but now they only have 2 projected starters on it. And this is the number one issue when it comes to Aaron Rodgers and the Jets offense. The offensive line has to be way better. They were one of the worst units last season. So I'm going to talk about what I think the Jets' current plan is regarding the offensive line and how they should address it. Right now, the Jets only have a starting center and a starting guard when it comes to Alijah Vera-Tucker and Joe Tippmann, but Alijah Vera-Tucker's gotten hurt in back-to-back seasons, so his durability is a question mark. Laken Tomlinson at least provided durability, but he was bad. So what are the Jets going to do? Well, I think Carter Warren at this point probably has to be in the Jets' offensive line plans. I don't want the Jets to try and move him to left tackle. I think they will put him at right tackle. That is my prediction. Carter Warren will go on the right side, and he did play there a little bit this past season. Now, am I confident in Carter Warren developing? No. Why? The Jets coaching staff. Do we seriously trust the Jets coaching staff to make these players better and to develop them into high-quality NFL players? My answer is no. Why would you? The Jets offense was a disaster last season. The offensive line as a whole was a disaster. These guys are inept. They're in over their head. So why should we trust them to develop Carter Warren? I don't know. But for Joe Douglas, the general manager, it makes a lot of sense because he's already on the roster. He does have some reps or NFL reps in game time, so that is useful. So it's not like we're just blindly putting our faith in a guy who's barely played before and saying, hey, take on some good pass rushers. No, at least he does have some experience, and he did go up against some quality rushers because I believe he did get drafted from the University of Pittsburgh. Now the questions lie on the left side of the offensive line. When it comes to left tackle, I think the Jets will find that in the draft. I'm almost positive because there has been so much buzz surrounding the tackle from Oregon State. I think his name's Fuaga. I'm not going to try and pronounce his first name at this point, but the buzz is there. Daniel Jeremiah consistently mocks him to the Jets. He roomed with Joe Douglas in college, so there's obviously some insider scoop from Daniel Jeremiah, and with the mock drafts all going tackle pretty much for the Jets, I think that's pretty safe to say that the Jets will address the tackle position through the draft. I also expect them to go after a backup in free agency, because if one of the guys gets hurt, we need someone to step in and be able to replace their play. And last season, the Jets' offensive line was injured it was so unbelievably injured, and it seems to happen under offensive line coach Keith Carter. So Joe Douglas has to be prepared. He has to get some quality backup guys. Whether that means re-signing a guy like Wes Schweitzer, hopefully he could stay more healthy because he's very versatile. He could play everywhere. So I think that's something the Jets should do is bring back Wes Schweitzer and take a look at some of the maybe tier 2, tier 3 guys in free agency when it comes to the offensive line, because the Jets need depth. Keith Carter's coaching style is very rigorous. It's tough and it's demanding on the body. Taylor Lewan talked about it. So you have to expect there's going to be some wear and tear with the New York Jets offensive line. When it comes to the guard position, I expect this is the position where the Jets will be spending some top dollar in free agency. Guard is one of those positions where there are a few quality guys in free agency. I will show some pictures on the screen right here, but Joe Douglas has been notoriously cheap in free agency in the past, and the few times he's actually spent, it's been bad. So hopefully this is the one time, aside from DJ Reed, where Joe Douglas can pay some premium money to a quality offensive line player, a veteran, because the Jets need some veterans on the offensive line. They need guys with experience, because can you draft a rookie tackle? Yes. Is it risky? Yes. But I understand it given the draft capital, given that he could be a building block for the future. But with the Jets, you need to add some veteran leadership on the offensive line because we don't really have anyone there. Joe Tippmann, it's going to be his second year. Alijah Vera-Tucker, is he a good leader? Yes, but you need to gel him with some other players as well. So guard, I think honestly the Jets will be moving Alijah Vera-Tucker to left guard because you want to protect the blind side of the quarterback, and Aaron Rodgers, he's a righty, so obviously it's going to be the left side of the offensive line, so I think that's what will happen. But there is one more thing I need to talk about, and this is a guy that I'm almost 99% positive the Jets will find a way to sign regardless. It's going to be David Bakhtiari. Obviously, the Green Bay connection with Aaron Rodgers, they're very good friends. But I could absolutely see the Jets bringing him on in a 1 or 2 year deal, hopefully a 1 year deal, because injuries have riddled this guy, like riddled him. And the story of the Jets offensive line last season was not only being extremely terrible, but always getting injured. So that's why a 1 or 2 year deal could be beneficial. And yeah, is there a lot of risk with the injury history with David Bakhtiari? Oh, 100%. But if we're signing him to a short-term contract, then I think you have to at least value the fact that we know when David Bakhtiari is healthy, he's a pretty damn good left tackle. So, I mean, even if the Jets were to draft a tackle, let's say they do end up drafting a tackle, but they don't want to put them on the left side, well, you could at least sign Bakhtiari and pencil him in as your day one left tackle. Now, is that somewhat similar to what happened last season with Dwayne Brown, and he was injured at the start of the season, but they still played him? Yes, so that is a little bit worrisome, but the Jets, I mean, they've shown they're going to take some risks, and this is an all-in season. I think Joe Douglas is absolutely going to have to roll the dice on some things, and David Bakhtiari, he might pencil him in as one of these starting tackles, and is that a risk? Yes, but with the upside, and with Joe Douglas's tendency in the past to take some risks and flyers on guys knowing that it could backfire in his face, which it has most of the time, but he's willing to do it, so that's what I think the Jets' offensive line situation is. Main points, just to recap, Jets will be addressing guard in free agency through some big money. They're going to keep Tittman at center. I think they're going to move Alijah Vera-Tucker to left guard. I think they are going to be drafting a tackle. Fuaga at Oregon State is the projected mock. And I think they will be signing David Bakhtiari, and Carter Warren will probably be the starting right tackle. So let me know what you think about this. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you trust the Jets coaching staff with this? Do you trust the Jets front office and Joe Douglas, who has, I mean, he was touted as an offensive line guru, and Joe Douglas has absolutely failed to build an offensive line. That's a really bad look. And when offensive line is still the number one issue for the New York Jets, why would you have confidence? I don't know. I don't have confidence, but this is what I think the Jets will do based on their history. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.